Hey guys, Aaron's Garba here, and today in this video we're going to be talking about footwear. So when it comes to video production, especially when you're doing documentary filmmaking, you're going to be on your feet for long hours. So footwear is actually very, very important. So when it comes to footwear, a lot of people don't tend to think about it because it often gets overlooked by video equipment and other stuff. Most people don't tend to think about what you're wearing as important, but it actually can heavily affect how productive you will actually be. Some of the first couple things I'm going to talk about, let's talk about just some basic tennis shoes. So these are kind of like a mixture between regular tennis shoes and hiking tennis shoes. I kind of like something that's kind of versatile. Of course, obviously just getting something that's very comfortable that can work and stuff like that when you're outside. So tennis shoes are something that pretty much everyone has. So having a good, comfortable pair of tennis shoes is really great, especially if you're going to be running around. It will depend on your environment too, you know. If you're in a much hotter environment, tennis shoes are probably the best option, especially in comparison to something like flip-flops where you don't really have much protection for your feet, especially since we're going to be lugging around heavy equipment and stuff like that all day. So tennis shoes are a really good option, especially if you can get something with a nice, comfortable, cushy sole that can kind of make your feet comfortable so they won't be aching at the end of the day. Another interesting piece of footwear that I highly recommend are combat boots, or even just mock combat boots or hiking boots. I wear these a lot sometimes, especially when it's snowing outside.
Folks were told to stay off roadways unless absolutely, positively necessary.
I wanted donuts.
These are also waterproof, so that also helps, especially if you're hiking and stuff like that. Generally, these are definitely going to be more expensive than your average tennis shoes, but you can find a lot of them at like military surplus stores and stuff like that for fairly affordable prices. These are also built a lot more like tennis shoes in a way, at least this particular pair. Got a nice good grip to them. These pair have served me really well over the years of hiking and stuff like that. And of course, adding extra protection for ankle and stuff like that. Really nice pair of shoes. And then my final pair. This is what I actually highly recommend, especially if you already wear cowboy boots. And my reason for these, for cowboy boots in particular, especially square toe and steel toe boots, which these are square toe, steel toe boots, and they're also waterproof. So not only will you look pretty cool wearing these, especially if you like the cowboy kind of look, they're really quick and easy to put on, because all you have to do is just slide into them, and there you go. Then of course, this steel toe can apply to almost any kind of boot. They also have steel toe tennis shoes that I've seen before. I've never had a pair of steel toe. Oh, here comes Chopper. I've never had a pair of steel toe tennis shoes, but I've had steel toe regular kind of lace up boots like this before and stuff like that. But these pair of steel toe cowboy boots are really nice because you can just kind of slip them on without having to lace them up. So if I have to go somewhere pretty fast, I can put these on. A lot of people generally tend to think cowboy boots as uncomfortable, but these are actually very nice and comfortable to wear. I also put an extra sole in there just to add some extra comfort and to make them fit a little tighter. And of course, with cowboy boots, you want them to be a little bit more snug than regular boots because they don't have the lacings to tie them down. So you're generally not only just looking for your particular shoe size, but specifically something that will fit nice and tight and snug. And then of course, going back to steel toe will definitely protect you a lot when you're working with heavier film equipment and C-stands and stuff like that. So if something were to fall onto your toes, most likely if you're wearing steel toe, they're either not going to get hurt or not going to get hurt as bad. And of course, this will depend on the environment. Like if you're working in really hot weather, I guess it really depends on what you like to wear. Probably I wouldn't go, at least normally in most cases, with a pair of boots. Although I do like to wear a pair of boots, especially since they add protection. And then of course if you're out in the woods or something like that, if you have a pair of boots, you get the protection from snakes and other stuff like that. And especially like poison ivy, which I'm actually very allergic to. That adds an extra layer of protection that you have there. And then also the ankle support. But of course, if you're doing a lot of stuff out in a hotter climate, then probably a good pair of tennis shoes. But having a good pair of footwear when you're doing video production is actually very important. And it's something that not a lot of people tend to think about.